Hey everyone, welcome. What a tremendous potluck dinner you guys provided. How about a big hand for those parents? That was amazing. Feel free to finish it off during the ceremony. I knew we were in for a great night when we arrived at 4:30 and we had a bunch of underclassmen and JV guys, and we turned around and this room was set up within 20 minutes, and that's a credit to you parents. Thank you for sending them over. It really was a big help. Thank you guys for setting up. We had a rewarding year, fun, successful, both teams. The Baseball Booster Club, we're indebted to the varsity and JV parents for all your donations during the year, your readiness to always pitch in with whatever we had planned. We're able to provide the kids with so much that other districts and programs cannot. And we try to ensure that the kids have a positive experience here as a West Islip baseball player. So I think we're on the right track, and we continue to do a good job with that. Special thank you goes out to our exec board, treasurer, elite, Brian O'Neill. Pays a lot of bills. The O'Briens, Gina O'Brien takes those excellent notes at our meetings. Thank you, Gina. The photo and video crew. We had Tom Canwell, Stacy Burns, Trish Romeo. I don't know who did the JV pictures, sorry, but thank you. Peter Thomasell, thank you. Our coaching staff, thank you for challenging our kids to be the best they can be and helping them to realize failure is a key component to being successful. Thank you for keeping the tradition of excellence strong for West Islip baseball and donating all that time away from your families. We really appreciate that. Thank you, coaches. We have some guests that I'd like to acknowledge. We have Tony Sansone from the West Islip Little League. Where is he? Our partners in West Islip baseball, thank you for your support. We have Kevin Kilkenny, who's not here, the GOAT, the athletic trainer extraordinaire. He's getting ready for his road trip up to Cortland with the lacrosse team. Thank you, Kevin. I know these kids, some of them are soft and they're in your office a lot, but we got through it. All those beautiful banners and graphics. Rich Carpenter is here. Finally got to again. Thank you, Rich. Chamber of Commerce, ATC Productions. Who else do we have? We have our JV reps. Thank you, Laura Delanoy, Bill Ruby, James Tomasello, for all your assistance throughout the season, getting the message out. We even had middle school reps. John DiBenedetto did a great job at Udall. He couldn't make it tonight. Diana Coleman helped out with Beach, but she's not here. She's at her son's game. But her husband's here, so representing the Colemans, thank you. Thank you, Bob. Middle school coaches. We have Coach Valentino's here, West Islip alum. And we'd like to acknowledge the Udall coach, Coach Osborne, who could not make it tonight, but sent his regards as well. We have the district unofficial team photographer, Vincent Alongi. Where is Vincent? Thank you, Vin. And we have Mr. Ted Nagagats Jr., the chairperson of PE and Athletics in Bayshore. Where's Ted? Thank you, Ted. As I said, we had our quarter of only 2 Bayshore alums in the room at one night, so Coach Dom and Ted, that's it. I get the same thing with Brentwood, so don't worry. Who's Coach Aran? Mr. Aran, would you like to say a few words? I know you got a busy weekend ahead of you, but thank you.
Good evening. I have to start out with an apology. I'm sort of on a politician's schedule here tonight. Come, eat, take a few pictures, say a few words, and then take off, because I have to shoot over to the board meeting to recognize some of our student athletes at tonight's board meeting. But really glad to be with you here tonight. Incredible evening here. The support is overwhelming. It's great to celebrate our baseball teams here, obviously our varsity players. What an incredible year. 18-6 semifinalists. I mean, this close to moving on to the county championships, and we all know what would have happened if we make it into that county finals. I guess just the baseball gods weren't with us, that last game, but we would be up in Binghamton right now and celebrating the kids even more. But can't recognize the kids enough for their efforts. Really enjoyed watching you play, the growth that took place throughout the season. JV, same thing. I think 17-1, had to navigate a lot of challenges and stuff like that. Incredible season. We talk about productive struggle, and you guys embrace that. West Islip as a community embraces productive struggle because we know the benefit of it and how important it is in terms of being successful and navigating challenges and sometimes not being successful. But great job for our JV and our varsity. It was great to see another great beach Udall game at the end of the season. With the leadership of our coaches, can't thank them enough. Coach Rush, Coach Lakova, Coach Zeitler on the varsity level, just nonstop, 24/7, 365. Coach Lakova, Coach Dom on the JV, volunteering his time, just like Coach Lakova on the varsity. Coach Lakova, actually, Mike Lakova, hit 200 wins on the JV this year. Congratulations. And Coach Mike is on track to set the all-time state record with JV wins. He'll probably have over 600, in his career here. So, congratulations to that. Coach Valentino, great job this year. Awesome. Can't thank the parents enough for your support. It's a team effort here. Again, one of the great things, and that's so special about West Islip, is the cooperation of everybody having a common north, the best interest of the team, best interest of the kids, the coaches, providing an inspiring environment, challenging the kids. And we always talk about, we want to strive for individual and team excellence. Our coaches embody that. On the varsity level, we're always striving for championships. Our coaches embody that. Can't thank them enough. Want to recognize our seniors here tonight. I mean, we've got an army here of 12 seniors. Great job. Just talking to Coach Russ and him talking so highly of the seniors and how much he enjoyed being with you is a credit to you, credit to your families. I wish you nothing but success in the future. You're going to go on and do great things. Remember that the door is always open for you. And lastly, I want to recognize the Pirapanos, the entire Booster Club. You got, a great framework here for success, exactly how it should be done in terms of incorporating everybody, letting everybody get involved, everyone taking on roles and responsibilities, and the sky is the limit. So really proud to represent West Islip. I'm proud to be here with you celebrating tonight. Looking forward to great things in the future for our seniors, and enjoy tonight's evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. It is truly a team effort, although Stacy thinks she is the boss, but thank you, everyone. I've dealt with a few overzealous booster clubs in my days at Massapequa, so we kind of have a little framework, a frame of reference how we think things should go. So I'm happy to be on this side of the mic instead of Mr. Moran's side right now. So thank you, everyone. So before we do our JV Awards, I know Coach Rush would probably want to come up here and say a few words and introduce, again, Mr. Nagengas to give out his very special award. Coach?
All right, good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sean Rush. I'm the varsity coach. This is my 20th year as an educator in the West Islip School District. I live here. My daughters go to school here. I teach here. So I went to school here. I didn't leave for very long. I spent 4 years in Maryland. And was lucky enough to get a job back here in West Islip as a social studies teacher. I became an educator and a coach because I was inspired by so many great people, living in this town, great teachers, great coaches, great role models, great parents, it's an honor to stand up here in front of you. It's an honor to coach your sons, and it's kind of cool to be here in West Islip doing this at the firehouse. Thank you you to the fire department for allowing us to do this. Mr. Rand and Piero basically took like everybody I wanted to thank. But, thanks to Superintendent, to Mr. Moran, to Dr. Bridgman at the high school, to the Little League for always supporting us. Kevin, obviously, you know, he couldn't be here. He texted me this afternoon, and you know, we're lucky to have an asset like him to help us, to guide your sons and you know, help them through the struggles and the bumps and the bruises and the soreness of baseball, and arms and backs and legs and soreness and all that stuff happens. You know, special thanks to the Booster Club. I mean, when I took this program over 15 years ago and played here 24 years ago I graduated, I'm getting old. But you know, there was nothing like this. We were lucky to get a t-shirt. I think one year we got like, I'm not even kidding, we got blue steroids. Coach Lakova can attest to that. So you guys are pretty lucky. I mean, who wears steroids? I mean, some of you guys try to wear steroids every year, Piero. It's either all or none. That's Coach Rush's policy here. The Pieropatos, the O'Neills, the Cantwells, the Azarides, the Riveras, the Romeos, Mr. O'Brien for putting us together at the, or the O'Briens in general, for helping us get the fire department, Mr. Olanji for taking pictures. You know, I've left out a lot of people, but we're just so lucky that so many people are involved. You know, every year at Captain Bill's, I get there about half an hour early because I gotta sign some paperwork, put things in bags, and I walk in here and there's like 100 people here already, like helping out, which is great. You know, it's unbelievable, and just as a varsity coach, just lucky to have the support, the positive, you know, support of the parents, the staff, the community. You know, guys, give your parents a round of applause. And like Mr. Rand said, we were just kind of talking, and I'm very fond of this group. You know, have been on and off the field, and I'll express that throughout. But you know, we were saying it's, you know, Rich Carpenter made the insightful comment, like, you know, is it the kids or is it the parents? Like, you know, in this day and age, people are raised, you know, you raise your children the way you see fit, and you know, a lot of it is, you know, they're the product of their environment. You know, how they were raised, the lessons they were taught, the respect, hard work, perseverance, and all those things. So it's a credit to you guys, you know, parents that are at the culmination of your high school careers, you know, with your sons graduating, and some of you at the beginning of their high school careers. And you know, this is a great senior class to model a lot of these behaviors that they've set the bar very, very high for everybody else. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, obviously, I have to thank my coaching staff, the best group of guys in New York State. You know, you're not gonna find people as passionate, as caring, as knowledgeable, you know, giving up Sundays, you know, from January to the start of the season to work at Pro Game, you know, giving up days during the week for workouts, from the middle school level all the way up to the varsity. You know, the Booster Club has been able to allow us to have Coach Lakova, you know, helping out on the varsity since 2017. And we've had a pretty good run since then, and I don't think it's any surprise that since Coach Lakova has come on, so give him a round of applause. The veteran of the staff, Coach Zeigler, you know, coached probably twice as many games as I've seen in my life. You know, all the knowledge of all the experience he's had, the way he obviously, you know, imparts his wisdom, his techniques, you know, onto the kids, and they embrace him, they love him, they respect him. You know, thank you, Coach, for everything that you do. Lucky enough to have coached all these years with someone that I grew up playing Little League with in middle school and high school baseball, Coach Mike Lakova. 200 wins is a lot of wins. That's very impressive, and you know, you're nothing without the programs that feed into the varsity. And to have someone like him, who not only teaches kids the game of baseball, but more importantly the game of life, He's been an invaluable asset, and we appreciate everything he's done, Coach Sokola. His best buddy, Coach Dom, the young pup of the staff, this guy teaches us all new words and phrases, and jealous of the great hairstyle Coach Dom has. The rest of the coaching staff is follically challenged. Expecting his first child soon, like a huge step. It was really exciting this fall. It was an honor to be invited to his wedding and the marriage of him and Kelsey, who live in town, and looking forward to watching him grow as a coach, a father, and just a valuable member of our community. So thanks, Coach Dom. I'm not really sure how many programs have a minor league baseball player coaching middle school and imparting all those valuable lessons to them, and having someone in front of them as a role model to look at them and, this is the way it's done, this is the way professionals do it. Coach Valentino has last year put together a workout program for us. There's not many high school programs that have access to the regimen that these kids do. Coach came down, showed them the exercises, even put together a program, color-coded, so it's easy to follow. And just thank you, Coach, Frank, for Valentino, for all that you've done. A long line of Valentinos and to Coach Osborne, who's not here, he's been doing it just as long as I have down there, and another great baseball mind helping out. So thank you to everyone. My wife and kids who aren't here, every year it gets a little more challenging as a father, as a coach, as a teacher to miss that time. And they're my biggest supporters. They're at almost all the games. My youngest daughter really wanted to be here tonight because she comes down to all the Sunday pro game workouts and asks me about the players and the JV guys. And I don't know what she'll be doing in life, but I think something around coaching is probably where Lauren will end up. But they allow me to do what I love to do, and I have to tell them thank you, because someone in this room would probably tell her to mention. All right, they did. So thank you, Alyssa and the girls. I know it's been a while. We're lucky enough to have Teddy Nagangash Jr. here. For those of you who aren't from West Islip, that name is synonymous with excellence. For the boys, I know there's a plaque above the locker room when you walk down the stairs dedicated to Coach Nags and his 377 wins and his 6 league titles and multiple Coach of the Year awards and county title. And a couple of people in the room have been coached by him here. And it's just, I was not lucky enough to be coached by Coach Nags, but I was lucky enough to know him when I came back here as a coach. He would stop down at football practice when I was there. He'd come to our baseball games. We were lucky enough for him to come to a West Islip Bayshore game, a couple of years back. And, when someone says his name, it's just all about positivity. It's about, great experiences, not just being a great baseball coach, but just a great man, a great person, someone you wanted to learn from. And we're lucky enough that his family sponsors a scholarship for the program that they give out every year. And just want to call up Coach Teddy Nagangash Jr. to talk about sharing your work.
Good evening, everybody. Before I start, just one thing really struck me pretty impressively today. Looking through the book that Rich made, I see my father's name in there a couple times for different things, the scholarship, and then the battle between Beach and Udall, which seems to be tied 12-12 now, if I'm counting right. It's pretty cool. But today in my office, we had one of our students who's in the school newspaper come down and interview my boss and I, and they were talking about a dedication that recently happened at Bayshore. And they were asking questions about the person. The one question was, do you think people will still recognize that person's name 100 years down the road? And I'm like, wow, that's a great question. Our gym is named after somebody who coached in Bayshore 90 years ago, so we're almost at 100 years.
But as I sit here and listen to the awards and my father's name in memory of what you said, Sean, it's powerful and it's very touching. I can only hope that one day, when I'm long gone, that somebody, one of the kids I coach, maybe has something to say about me positively. There's probably a couple people who could say not nice things about me, I'm sure, here and there. But good evening, everybody in West Islip Lions, and thank you again for this opportunity to speak on behalf of my father, who, despite being from Amityville and wore the color crimson red, and having a son who went to Bayshore and he had to wear maroon and white once in a while, he bled blue and gold his entire life. And I will come back to those colors in a couple minutes. First, I must congratulate you on a fantastic season, making it to the county semifinals this spring. I am confident that you all were chasing the championship, and I would be highly disappointed if you were not, of course. Losing is not an enjoyable experience for anybody. But show me a person who's okay with losing, and I don't want them on my team. So I'm sure it was hurtful in the heart, but at least you got there, and a lot of teams were home watching your game when you played. My father coaches teams to play hard, execute their responsibilities perfectly, and play fairly. If all that was accomplished each and every game, the results would be great. Rivalry games are the best, with some classic examples: Army-Navy, Ohio State-Michigan, or Cortland-Ithaca, and then you have the most famous one on Long Island, West Islip-East Islip. To me, which is one of the most storied rivals, as I said, on Long Island. And it usually draws the mention of a former East Islip baseball and football player, Boomer Esiason, on his morning radio show on WFAN. When I mentioned my father bled blue and gold, I was referring to his passion for West Islip athletics, specifically baseball and football. He was always proud to represent West Islip on the field as a coach and as an English teacher. His biggest moments were the games and days leading up to the game versus East Islip. Whether it was football or baseball, he was ready. Ironically, he coached against the current coach, Champy's father, many, many times, and loved to win. Unfortunately, he didn't win all the time. The one and only year that he was the varsity football head coach, West Islip and East Islip tied 0-0. West Islip called an outside run play on 4th and goal, and unfortunately East Islip stuffed it, resulting in a tie. Ironically, East Islip advanced to the playoffs on a wacky tie-breaking differential and went on to win the Rutgers Trophy that year. He did not get a second chance. However, you all, after losing the opening round game to the Redmen, through your passion and hard work, you fought back, and the seniors can say, we beat East Islip in our last rivalry game. I'm sure it was a great feeling. What's great and special about a rivalry game? To me, it's the memories of those games, the cheering of the crowd, and the excitement that fills the air when you're getting ready to play. A rivalry game has a greater meaning than any game you'll play in your regular season and any other opponent. I would be remiss if I did not mention, I mean no disrespect for East Islip, and only high levels of respect, as they produce high quality teams that are always competitive, which is what makes the rivalry game so special, is that both teams are competitive and good year in and year out. A couple things I'd like you to remember. Have passion and work on it constantly. My father would attend coaching clinics all the time and read anything he could about baseball to get better. If he was still alive and coaching, he'd be on YouTube all the time, I'm sure. Outwork everyone. My father would be in the basement for hours each night. Well, he told my mother he was grading the English papers. I think he was getting ready for the next baseball game, making posters, looking at the stats, getting the lineups ready. Enjoy what you do every day. My father loved to be a teacher and a coach, and often said that he never had a bad day at work. Now, after 30 years in education myself, not sure if I totally believe him 100%. Once in a while, you do go home a little frustrated. Be respectful of those who compete against. You never know where you may wind up. As a Cortland alum and former football player at Cortland, I really didn't like or care for Ithaca too much. You can tell Mr. Yulee that, he knows it very well. One football game, I remember the Ithaca fans were cheering. That's all right, that's okay, you'll work for us one day. My response was, not a chance, that'll never happen. Well, it happened. When my former boss retired, the guy they hired was from Ithaca. I had to swallow my pride and go to work each and every day. But on a side note, he and I had a previous relationship, and it all worked out great. Underclassmen, the torch is now being passed to you. Carry it well and keep the West Islip Lions looking strong and being strong. Seniors, congratulations on a great career. And on behalf of the Nagas family, we wish you guys all the best and keep it up. And by the way, this is absolutely an awesome environment. Captain Bill's is nice. When you do something in your own community, much better. Kudos to everybody, John.
Thanks, Coach. So we're going to give out the Ted Nagengas Commitment to Excellence Award right now. This is an award that Coach Maletti started years ago, and we continue to do so. The recipient this year is a young man who has exemplified excellence throughout his entire career here at West Islip. They exhibit positive qualities not only as an athlete, but a teammate, a student, and a community member. This young man was an all-league player this year, has been selected as a two-time captain, Chris Pierpato. So Chris, come on up. Chris is every coach's dream. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, he's smart, he's a leader, and he also plays the tuba. He's a Renaissance man. All right. During the COVID-shortened season, as a freshman, Coach Lakova came up to me and says, Coach, this guy can't play JV next year. He belongs in the varsity. He has a tremendous amount of talent, big, strong, athletic. And as a sophomore, a couple guys ahead of him got hot, had struggled to find the field. As a junior, he came in ready to go. Worked hard, was hitting the cage, hitting the weights, bigger, stronger. But, he has a reputation of being a very good player, playing at a high level in the summer, and teams would not give in to him. They pitched around him, and he was frustrated. 99% of the kids would have given up on his team, would have focused on the individual, and it's about me, and I'm having a bad season. But not Chris. He did whatever he could. He was a captain, stayed positive, he picked up his teammates, and he captained them to a league title. And as a senior, I know that disappointing junior year was in the back of his head. And after a slow start, he caught fire, I'd say 3 or 4 games to the season. He finished with an average just under 400. Like I mentioned before, he was selected as all league. But the reason he's up here is not for what he did on the field, but it's the way he carried himself the past 3 years. The example he set for the underclassmen, the time and effort he put in the offseason, the approach to the game, the way he took care of his body, the way he led his team to victory. And I honestly, I stand up here and say a lot of nice things about a lot of kids year after year because they deserve it. And I'm not lying to you. I can't tell you how many teachers, community members have came up to me to tell me stories of just how great of a kid he is. The way the last 3 years, the way you watch him interact with the younger kids in the community at clinics and things that we do in the community, he's truly a great role model, a great representative not only of our team and our school, but our town in general. And Coach Lakova quite often tells me he's a pretty good football player too, in case you didn't know. But I'm extremely proud of him. I'm very, very sad to see him go. I feel like he's been around forever. This year's Ted Nagengas Commitment to Excellence Award, Chris Pierpato. And
Coach Ted, we know you love your Bayshore Maroon, but we have to give you some West Islip gear. So open that up. Thank God the middle school we had extra t-shirts. There you go. Wear that to Bayshore tomorrow. There you go.
all right. We're in for a great night. A lot of celebrating to do tonight for an unbelievable season, not only for the varsity players, but a great year for the JV season, JV team. It's no surprise. I lost count. I know he's got 200 wins, but this is probably like his 8th or 9th league coach of the year. Michael Lakova, come on up.
Good evening. Thank you, Coach Rush, and thank you to the Pirapatos again for the Booster Club for all you do. Like Coach Rush said, we played here in the late 90s, and I still have the t-shirt and sweatshirt that we got when we graduated. So boys, please say thank you, because a night like tonight and all the stuff we get would not be possible without all the hard work from everyone involved in the Booster Club. Thank you to Mr. Ruby. Is Mr. Ruby here tonight? Thank you for running our games allowing those who could not attend all our games to still be able to watch live. And of course, a huge thank you to my assistant coach, Coach Dom LaFerrera. Dom not only has been an asset to the JV, but the entire program as well. Everyone here tonight has the pleasure to work with Coach Dom. He volunteers his time, asks for